Okay, so Games Workshop are still putting out teasers for the Necrons, the Gauss Flayer versus the Gauss Reaper, and it's coming right up.
Necrons!
Nick speaking, and welcome to this video. Right, of course the Necron Codex is coming. A lot of channels have already got the Codex and done reviews on them. I haven't watched any of those reviews. I want the excitement of opening that Codex and reading the rules for myself, and I can't wait. And of course I'll be making as many videos as I can around the new Necron Codex. So today's post is quite interesting, and I'm very interested to see what Games Workshop say is the best, because usually Games Workshop tactics aren't that great. So let's humour them and have a look. So let's start by looking at the profiles for each weapon. First up we have the Gauss Flayer, carried by Necron Warriors since the introduction into Warhammer 40,000, so quite a long time. And not too much change here, no change in actual fact. 24 inches, rapid fire 1, strength 4, -1 with a damage of 1. On the other corner we have the new Gauss Reaper, which has had an upgrade since we first saw it in the Indomitus set. Interesting. Going from rapid fire 1 to the much more flexible and dangerous Assault 2. Okay, so now this gun is 12 inches Assault 2, strength 5, -2 and 1 damage. Now I wonder why the Codex is totally different from the Indomitus set, because of course it can't be the fact that people have complained about the range of the weapon and they've decided to change the rules, because, well, these codices have been in print for quite some time, as would have been the Indomitus set, so it must have been their plan all along to release it in one format and then to change it in the Codex. It's a bit odd. However, a 12-inch Assault 2 gun, that's pretty nice. And I'd imagine they're going to talk about the Mefrit's Dynasty, where you can add 3 inches to this, making it a 15-inch Assault 2 gun. And that, well, all of a sudden has definitely increased the Gauss Reaper's abilities, which we always thought was going to be pretty good, maybe in the Sautekh range with their special rapid fire rule. But with Mefrit increasing the range to 15 inches, again, it could be quite good. Not only giving you 2 shots at 15 inches, but giving you that -3 at 7.5 inches. That's going to be quite hard to measure. It's a funny number, 15 inches. So the Flayer has the range advantage, but the Reaper is better when you get up close and personal. The Gauss Flayer is a weapon that you'd give to an objective camping unit, whilst the Reaper works better in the hands of a squad trying to drive enemy units off their objectives. Let's see how the dynastic codes of the Necrons can affect these two weapons. First up, those wishing to unleash the solar fury of the Mefrit dynasty will be adding 3 inches to the range of the guns, as I thought. This is great for both weapons, but it means that the unit of Necron Warriors armed with Gauss Reapers can really control the middle of the battlefield, especially if there are 20 of them. 2 strength 5 shots each at 15 inches will make anyone think twice about going near them. Of course, a unit armed with Gauss Flayers that can reach out and damage units in your opponent's deployment zone from the first turn is nothing to be sniffed at either. Next up, the followers of the Silent King can take advantage of a single wound reroll each time they fire. Again, this works really well with both guns, but especially good for the Gauss Flayer with its strength of 4. Use that reroll when you need to slay with the Flay. Yeah, okay. I mean, it's just 1 reroll dice. It could make a difference, but it's not huge, is it? Well, certainly not on Warriors anyway. If you're devoted to the Sautekh dynasty, they have an incredible dynastic code for the Gauss Flayer. In fact, all rapid fire weapons in your army. And of course, that's the rule that says instead of following the normal rules for rapid fire weapons, models with this code shooting rapid fire weapons make double the number of attacks if the shooting model's target is within 18 inches. which I think makes it pretty clear that Gauss is going to be the way forward, because of course the Gauss blasters on Immortals are going to be rapid fire, and whilst I haven't seen the new Tesla rules, I've got wind that maybe the Tesla isn't quite as good, which, to be fair, I think we all thought that was going to be the case anyway. Necrons going forward at this moment in 9th edition is all about the Gauss. Just like the old days, just like it should be. Pop your Necron Warriors on an objective and watch them double tap anyone who gets within 18 inches. That doesn't mean that the Sautekh dynasty is all about Gauss Flayers though. Their overlord, Nemesaur, has a couple of tricks up his metallic sleeve that really helps the Gauss Reaper too. Interesting. And also, did you notice I didn't say his second name because I can't pronounce it? Ha! Okay, so Nemesaur's got My Will Be Done. In your commands phase, you can select one friendly Sautekh core unit within 9 inches of this model. Until the start of your next command phase, each time a model in the unit makes an attack, add 1 to the attack's hit roll. Each unit can only be selected for its ability once per phase. Okay, so no real change there, apart from obviously it's now core, and it didn't used to be, it used to be just Dynasty. Obviously this is Sautekh core because it's on Nemesaur, the same as Relentless March, which is still an aura ability. Obviously it's now core, and units within 6 inches of this model, each time that unit is selected to make a normal move or advance until the end of the phase, add 1 to the move characteristic of models in that unit. So basically that's just Games Workshop confirming that these 2 new rules are going to be for core units. So sadly it seems that my game-changing video that I made about this rule has now, well, changed. But not necessarily for the better. However, the rule itself on core units is still very good, and that 9-inch range is very good. Finally, Gauss Flayer fans that want to create their own dynasty can choose Pitiless Hunters as their dynastic tradition to give a boost to their rapid fire weapons. Okay, this is interesting, and I really liked what they did with some of the custom dynasty traits that we've seen previously. So let's have a look at this. Instead of following the normal rules for rapid fire weapons, models with this code shooting rapid fire weapons make double the number of attacks if either the shooting model's target is within half the weapon's range, or if the shooting model is infantry and its unit remained stationary in your previous movement phase. Okay, so if you're at half range you get double the amount of attacks, and if you stand still and you're infantry, which obviously warriors and immortals are going to be, well, you also get double the amount of attacks. That actually sounds really good, and well, I'm really interested to see the other custom dynasty traits because they seem to be very usable. Which weapon is better then? They're both great guns and have their uses in every Necron army. More proactive armies that like to get in the face of their enemy will benefit from the Gauss Reaper. That includes those forces that deploy from reserve, such as from a Night Scythe, or using the Veil of Darkness relic, where you can put your Necron Warriors within that 12-inch sweet spot. Meanwhile, reactive armies will prefer the Gauss Flayer. Of course, since a unit can take a mix of both weapons, there's no excuse not to have the right weapon at the right time. And yeah, I mean, thinking about it, is it really worth having a unit of mixed weapons? Potentially. I think some playtesting is going to be needed. My instant thought is you take one unit with either Flayers or Reapers. Generally it makes sense to do that, but potentially having a mixture could work as well. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments box below. And of course it's then telling us that we can buy these push fit Necron Warriors from Saturday by themselves, and it seems like push fit is maybe the thing of the future, because a lot of these new miniatures are now push fit, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I think it does limit your flexibility as a modeler to actually convert and change the miniatures up. But, well, it is what it is. Now, my next video is going to be a showcase of my painted 2 sets of Indomitus Necrons, so I hope you check back to see that, and of course, lots more Necron videos on the way. In the meantime, here is my 9th edition playlist with all of my videos that I've recently made in one place. Beam me up!